Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube and Twitch channels. I do see that in the chat there was some confusion because I changed the start time at the last second. The kids are not at school today. There's a professional development day going on today, and they were kind of going a little bit crazy, so I needed to take them to the park and get some of that energy out. And so that is why we had the time change. So I do apologize for confusing some of you, and I hope that you guys will be able to catch the replay when you get back from work or all that stuff. Just trying to get Twitch chat pulled up here. There's Twitch. Okay. Open Stream Manager. There we go. Okay. So today, we're just going to be looking at a few different things. The Ontario election happened last night, and of course, we do still have a Conservative majority. That was not a surprise. That it was a very predictable result. The NDP and Liberals really didn't have a strong platform. They also really focused on Toronto, and Doug Ford was really the only one who acknowledged the existence of small town Ontario outside of Toronto. And the voter turnout was also very, very, very low. How's the knee? Oh, it's better. 8 seats. Yeah. The NDP leader resigned in tears last night. Stephen Del Duca, the Liberal leader, couldn't even retain his own seat. It was bad, and everyone is complaining that voter turnout was so super low. I think it was like 47%. But part of that problem is the fault of the leadership of all of the parties, quite frankly. They didn't really do enough to reach the common voter. They made it very clear that their base were nurses, support workers, old seniors. They made it very clear who they were targeting. And it was, boys, what did I say about when I was doing my show? No fighting. Logan, no. Then ask for help instead of whining. So, yeah, nobody is happy to vote for someone. They're just voting the lesser of all evils. Yeah. 2 elections in a row where the Liberals couldn't have official party status. Yeah. Oh, he didn't have a seat? Okay, so he couldn't, but he didn't even win a seat. Like, he couldn't get a seat. He didn't win. So yeah, then how was he the leader of the Liberal Party? I thought you had to have a seat to be a leader. Interesting. So yeah, that's the Ontario election results, and it's not a surprise at all. So we're going to move on here to a couple of other things. I do have a video that we're going to watch, so that's going to take up most of the time. But before we do that, we're going to look at an article that I actually one of my friends tweeted and I grabbed. So we're going to take a quick look at that, and then we're going to watch an Ian Runkle video. Her Uncle of the Bailey video. Do, 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 do. Excuse me. Then you figure it out. You don't growl and cry and whine. Okay. So this article is from The Verge. Where are we here? Do you need to go do something else? Why aren't you helping your brother? Sorry, guys. I am parenting and streaming all at once. Okay. Okay. So let's get this started here. So this is as I said, it is a Verge article. Where am I here? Yes, I know. What? I know StreamYard is sharing my screen. Go away. Okay. That was stupid. Okay. Can you still see the art? Can you still see it? No, you don't even need a seat to be prime minister, just the confidence of parliament. Oh, Jesus. No, don't need to have a seat to lead, but it doesn't look good when your own neighborhood. That's true. That's true. That is very true. Okay, where's the headline here? Do it. Children, start getting along, please. You can request an invite to buy a PS5 on Amazon. It should have always been this easy. You shouldn't have to request an invite. You should just be able to buy a freaking PlayStation. My biggest enjoyment is all of the salt on Twitter from all of the people who apparently didn't realize they had no hope. Yeah, that's amusing. I've got some family friends on Facebook who are suffering from that same issue. Okay. So this is from June 2nd, 2022. So yesterday. Who just dropped the controller? I think you guys need to separate. Amazon is offering a new and more orderly way for shoppers to buy a PS5. You can request an invitation right here on the console's invite page or product page. It's to the right where a buy button would normally be located. And the company says if you've chosen it, you'll receive an email with a link to purchase one within 72 hours. What's more, you don't need to be a Prime subscriber to request an invite. Are they going to be retail price or are they going to be $1,000? I laughed at my family for voting NDP. Yeah, that's a throwaway vote. Like seriously, because every time I go on Amazon to look at PS5s, the cheapest I find is like $1,050, and the most expensive is like $1,500. Are they going to be making us buy that price, or are they going to charge us $629 like at Best Buy? So far, this invite-based system seems to be in place So far, this invite-based system seems to be in place only for the more costly $499.99 PlayStation 5 that features a Blu-ray disc drive and not the digital version. Good, because that's the one I want. I don't want the digital version. I want the disc version. The socialist who'd have thunk it, right? Why are we screaming still? Alexander, I gave you my control. Okay, you know what? Turn off the PlayStation. One of you goes in the playroom. One of you goes and watches a movie. You go in the playroom then. No. Because this is getting ridiculous. Give me back my controller. Here you go. Here you go, Mommy. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, just go. Stop fighting with each other. This is getting nonsensical. You are brothers, I understand that, but this is not something you guys need to be arguing about. Okay. Honestly, I will say this, though, nothing changed. Nope, nothing changed, and nothing is going to change. If you want to boost your chances of getting one, even if you... Wait. If you want to boost your chances of getting one, even if you don't luck out soon, Sony has long offered registrations on a rolling basis to be considered for an invite to buy a PS5 directly. You just need a PSN ID. Amazon's timing of this new invite system debuted with interesting timing, or I'm reading into it a little too much. To hype up Walmart Plus weekend, Walmart's take on Amazon Prime Day, Walmart Plus subscribers will have a chance at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today to purchase a PS5 from the retailer. Console restocks have been slower to come by in 2022, and the PS5 is one of the few hot tech items that has failed to meet the high demand. Though Xbox Series X and Series S have been easier to find and keep in stock. Yes, and that's what's really frustrating for those of us who really, 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 really don't want an Xbox. What is this stream about? So this is a current events / politics / just kind of a just chatting thing. I also do on Saturdays a show about Star Trek. And I am on Twitch as well. I'm actually multi-streaming this on Twitch, but I do play Mortal Kombat 11 over there as well on Twitch. So that is what this stream is about. So am I just not streaming on YouTube anymore? No, I'm multi-streaming, Ryan. This is up on YouTube and Twitch right now. I'm doing the coffee streams are multi-streamed, and then Beat the Blind Girl is on Twitch only. So this is tempting, as well as the Nintendo Switch OLED and several high-end PC gaming graphics cards. Yep. That's tempting. Seriously, that is tempting to put in an invite or a request for a PS5 and a capture card. That is, but I'm not 145 pounds yet. I can't have a PS5. I'm not 145 pounds yet. And that is the rule. That was my rule. I am not allowed to have a new console until I hit 145 pounds. That's just how that is. Okay, now we're going to go to the Runkle of the Bailey. And we are going to take a look at the Bill C11, which is being completely obscured by our gun bill that's been happening here. And so it's very interesting. Everyone's talking about Bill C11 and nobody's talking about the handgun freeze, which Pink Hollow pointed out yesterday, and he's absolutely correct that nobody is focusing on the handgun bill and only focusing on Bill C11, which is the updated version of Bill C10 from last year. Why did this not stop? Let's reshare this. Let's reshare this here. Okay. So we're going to take a look at a video from Runkle of the Bailey. And Pink Hollow again has recently shown me Runkle of the Bailey. He is a self-defense lawyer from Toronto. So he does break down federal statutes and bills and stuff like that as well. So did you see JJ McCullough's video on the YouTube, Bill? No, I didn't. Why don't you want an Xbox? Oh, I have so Pincolo used to work for an Xbox call center, so he knows all of like the dirty bullshit that they pull. And we were also we had several friends who had Xbox 360s, and we were personally there for the red lights of death, the 3 red lights of death. We are just very much let's see. Let's see. I bet you would kick my butt at Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, I got that backwards. Everyone's focused on the gun shit, not at ban and not C11. See, the Donnie, I understand some people's feelings about the Johnny Depp thing because they were, 2 celebrities with obscene amounts of money. But it's very important, and this did help a lot of men that aren't rich and famous realize that yes, they are able to be abused, and it is okay for them to stand up and talk about it. Let's see. See, but Runkle has been talking about that. Ian's been talking about Bill C11 for a while. He, yes, he did take a break to talk about Johnny Depp, but he has absolutely been talking about Bill C11. He's been talking about Maxwell. He's been he has been doing all of this stuff, but it's all about trying to get your algorithm, right? So if you're serious about this and this is your business, it's just, yeah. Nothing has changed. They're just the new. Let's see. Yeah, well, of course, because it was what's going on, and if you're, trying to hit the algorithm, you're going to talk about that. But I don't know. I don't like lawyers. I really don't. But I find I actually do rather enjoy watching Ian Runkle, Nick Rekieta, because I do find that they are talking about bills, and they're, Nick is a bit more, he does focus a lot more on like the sensational stuff, but I do like that. I've actually learned about a few bills that I didn't even know were before the parliament by watching Ian Runkle. So I do like that that he's covering these. So this is a 9-minute video.
Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. Today I want to talk about Bill C11, and if you're not familiar with it, this is a proposal to require platforms like YouTube and Spotify and TikTok and so forth to show more Canadian content to Canadian viewers. And you might be thinking, hey, that sounds great. I want to see more Canadian content, and won't this help you, Runkle? I mean, you're a Canadian content creator.
Actually.
Well, what I'm here to explain is that this is bad for consumers, it's bad for Canadian content creators like myself, and it would also be bad because I can't resist the tie-in for Johnny Depp if this had been in place. And Johnny Depp's kind of a stand-in here for the truth generally.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. I'll explain where I'm going with that. So first, one of the things that's important to understand is the algorithms that go behind your user experience on a platform like YouTube. Because YouTube wants to show you content that you're going to enjoy.
Yep.
And they sort of study, what things you click like on, what things you click dislike on, which thumbnails you click and which ones you don't click, in order to try to basically show you stuff that you're going to want to watch.
Like my YouTube feed is full of kitchen nightmares, Mortal Kombat 11, The Shadow, or other old time radio shows, LawTube / politics in general, specifically Canadian politics, and a whole bunch of science shit, like astronomy stuff, biology stuff, geology stuff. Like that's because YouTube has figured out that's the stuff I watch.
And they're not doing this for altruistic reasons. I mean, they don't actually care that much if you're happy or not. They do it because they're trying to maximize revenue. But on your end, it actually makes the experience better. On my end, I'm happy that they're doing this as well, because if they're maximizing revenue, well, then it helps me keep going. So all of this is beneficial to the consumer. It's beneficial to YouTube. It's beneficial to me. This is a good process. And this is really what they're trying to tinker with and what they're trying to require them to change. Because the government here is trying to say that YouTube should not show you stuff based on you're going to enjoy it, but also show you stuff that you're not going to enjoy just because it's flagged as Canadian content.
And this is partially what ruined our legacy media in Canada. This is why, even though we have regulations from the CRTC that state that 35% or more content played on radio and TV must be Canadian. However, all of those regulations and, all of these things has quashed good Canadian content on cable. And that is why our media, despite the attempt of regulating and delineating how much or what percentage of Canadian content needs to be on the air, now that's why our airwaves are saturated with American content. Canadian content used to be like very well renowned. Back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, we had people like freaking Alan Thicke. We had even the Bill Murray's, the what the fuck is his name? Fucking Dan. Oh, come on, press. Jesus Christ! Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Like, and musically. Oh, I know. I know that there are people that care in America. And there are people in Canada that care about what's going on in America. It's like there are a lot of there's a lot of messed up stuff going on just in the West.
Now, you might think, hey, isn't that great for you anyway, because you're going to get your videos out to more people?
No.
Well, no. I want my videos to be seen by lots of people, but I want them to be seen by lots of people who are going to want to engage with that, and
Yes.
not people who are going to dislike it, because YouTube is going to look at how my videos are doing in terms of, people clicking through, people watching it. And if suddenly they're showing my thumbnails to a whole lot of people who aren't interested in clicking, or they show my videos to people and they just go, no, thank you. And
yeah, like if you're pushing Canadian content en masse and disregarding the viewership analytics of the users, you're going to push Canadian law videos to people who don't give a shit about that. Like they're just on YouTube to watch cat videos and birds, or they're just on YouTube to watch clips of their favorite comedians, or they're just on YouTube to watch gaming content, and all of a sudden there's this lawyer here in their feed, and oh well, it's Canadian content. Well, I don't care. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch my gaming shit. Like this is the problem with YouTube, or with Bill C11 doing this. It's going to ruin the chances of content creators, because it's just going to push this content en masse to people, and there's going to be a bunch of not interested, not interested, not interested, and that is going to tell YouTube, well, this content creator has suddenly gone to shit. Let's not push them anymore. Viva Fry has gone a bit cuckoo bananas lately. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. He's like lauding Tamara Litch and Pat King and all that, and I'm like, have you been watching their stuff?
skip on. That looks like what I've made is a bad video, when instead what we've got is a bad algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually makes it a lot harder for me to succeed as a content creator. This is going to make things much more difficult for especially small content creators. The next point, of course, is what gets counted as Canadian content, because this is a really big deal. This proposes to push up Canadian content, which means pushing down everything that's not flagged as Canadian content.
Now, this could be a problem, and he's probably going to get into this, but this could be a problem because there are very specific things that are content, or that are Canadian content, and probably larger outlets that can afford to pay fees and all this stuff and be recognized as Canadian content also. And this happened a lot with the legacy media. A lot of American producers and film directors use Canadian sets and locations and actors, but it's still an American production. But because Canadian geography and all that was used, it can still be counted as Canadian content, but it's actually not. You're right about Viva Fry, even in which areas I agree with him. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Viva. He's kind of, honestly, I feel like when he was at the freedom protests in February, he went with good intentions to, show and document what was going on. But the amount of ego stroking he got while he was there, I think he let it go to him too much. And I think he kind of forgot to stay humble. I think he just kind of let everything go to his head and just kind of stopped being as analytical as he was, because he used to do a very thorough analysis of things. Even if he liked the person that he was analyzing, he would look at things that they had done wrong and be like, yeah, this is wrong. And since the protests in Ottawa, he's just stopped doing that. Like, he's not, like, old Viva Fry would have been looking at Pat King videos and being like, wow, you're a crazy person. Like, yeah, you have freedom of speech, but you're a cuckoo banana person. And he's just not doing that. Also, I'm 290, lost 20 pounds from the beginning. Awesome, Ryan. Way to go, dude. Fuck the algorithm. Yeah, that's kind of where I sit. I don't, if I get, you know, farther, I didn't think I would have 1,000 subs already, quite frankly. So, like, I just talk about what I'd like to talk about, and if people come by and enjoy it, that's awesome. I'm not really much of an algorithm person. Viva Fry is awful at broadcasting. I can't be arsed with him. Yeah. He needs to do more of his vlogs for credibility. Those seems, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well, in order to get designated as Canadian content, you have to go and fill out a ton of forms, which require a whole bunch of, work,
Yep.
possibly requiring an accountant because you have to detail all of your costs and which ones can be attributed to Canada and which ones are, elsewhere. They expect that you've got, a producer and a director and so forth, and a certain number of these roles have to be filled by Canadians. And it's not clear if that means that it's impossible to navigate for somebody who's just me. Like, it's just me here.
Yeah.
I don't even have an editor. So,
and I'm lucky. Like, if I need a video edited, I'm lucky that, Pincalo can help. But yeah. It's just, yeah.
And I'm going to get comments going, we know, Runkle, we can see your content. But what this means is that it might be very difficult for the small creator to actually navigate this process in order to get designated as Canadian content.
Yes.
So who does that benefit? Well, it benefits bigger companies that are going to find it much more easy to deal with this.
CBC, Rebel Media, Toronto Sun, National Post.
The CBC, mainstream media in general, people who are producing sort of full-length TV episodes and that kind of thing, rather than somebody who's, trying to make videos in their office or in their backyard. So ultimately what this does is it's going to get you more corporate content and less individual content. And most of us have enough corporate messaging in our lives. We're not super keen on that. That brings us, of course, to the Johnny Depp tie-in that I promised I was going to make here. And I think I'm hopefully going to make the case here. Because what we've seen with the Johnny Depp case is the mainstream media has had one consistent narrative all the way through, which is that Amber Heard is this wronged victim, and it's such a tragedy. And of course, if you've been watching the case or watching the independent coverage of it, like I've provided, then you probably got a different view.
Yeah, the legacy media's just doubling down with Amber about how victimized she was. And it doesn't matter what lawyer you watched, any lawyer that was streaming the trial was just by streaming the trial providing more information and more fact-based information than the legacy media was. The legacy media was picking and choosing just little snippets of things from Amber's testimony and not focusing on the insane amount of evidence and audio that was going on. Let's see. Spiles would be yeah.
I've seen the mainstream media predicting that Amber Heard was going to be walking out with
Stargate,
buckets of money. Well, I predicted the opposite. And what did we see? Well, my prediction was borne out. Theirs was not. In order to, if we only get this sort of one set of narratives, it can really suppress other points of view, and it can really suppress the truth.
Yep.
In this case, what we saw is independent content creators were getting out the correct message about what was happening here. People were properly able to explain, listen, this is not the case that the mainstream media is telling you it is.
And this is my big problem is I'm still running into people who are supporting, and it's not just the Amber Heard thing. It's the fact that there are so many people willing to just take what the legacy media tells them without doing even 5 minutes of independent research just to figure out the truth. And figuring out the truth doesn't mean you're picking a side. It means you're just figuring out the truth, right? The truth doesn't pick sides. The truth is just the truth, right? That's just what it is. The truth is the truth. It doesn't pick sides. It just is. And the problem with the legacy media is that it has spun this narrative of, if you are looking for the truth and you are looking outside of our information for the truth, then you are a crazy person, conspiracy nut, and you don't actually want the truth. You want conspiracy facts, which is not, that's absolutely disingenuous and a lie in itself.
This is not a case where Amber Heard is a terrible victim. It's actually a case where Johnny Depp is the victim of some really serious and egregious abuses. Bill C11 would have made it much more difficult for those messages to get to Canadians. And so what it would mean is that people are going to get a distorted view.
And it's not just about the Johnny Depp thing that means that is an example for truth. If Bill C11 was already a thing, this video would already be a problem, because Runkle is critically looking at Bill C11. He's pointing out its problems, and just in that of itself, according to Bill C11, is problematic and needs to be addressed. It's give and take. Both sides of the border are playing stupid games. Yep.
This isn't the only time this is going to happen. It's an example, not a unique experience.
No.
So we're in a situation where we've got this bill that quite possibly will distort the landscape of who gets to have a voice and what information you get to see. So I think this is a terrible bill. I really want, I encourage people to, to speak up about it, to discuss it. It's currently going through Senate procedures. Write your senators. Let them know what you think of this bill, because I am very concerned as to what this will do. And I mean, I am a Canadian. I love putting out content talking about Canada and talking about the Canadian legal system. This threatens my ability to do that.
Yep.
And it means that that voices like mine, where I can go through and explain court decisions in some detail, might not be available. So please, this is sort of the time to act and to speak up here. And I encourage you to do so. Please also let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Share it with your friends. I think this is an important message. I think that this is one that more people need to see. And subscribe if you've enjoyed this this content. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters here at the...
So yeah, that's, and he's right. It's not just like, it is absolutely a problem. You have to be able to look at things critically. And the problem with Bill C11 is it's going to not only stem that ability, it's going to stamp on the small creator that cannot do that paperwork for the Canadian content verification. Even if you do that paperwork, who's to say that they'll say, yeah, you're Canadian content. There you go. You've been verified. Like, doing that paperwork is not a guarantee. So it's very important. And part of your civic duty, if you're upset about something, is not just voting every 4 years in an election. It is, as Runkle just said, writing your senators, writing your members of parliament. Doing, Mummy said he could play, and if Alex and him were separated, and he stopped yelling. Yeah, this is the this is the search for fact. If you want the search for truth, Dr. Tyree's class is just down the hall. Nice one, Duck Dog. Oh man, this is a concerning bill. And because everyone is so worried about the handgun freeze, nobody's paying attention to this right now. It's nobody's paying attention. You might have to make yourself an iced coffee. I think. So let's see. What's another? Let's check out what Google News has to offer us, because we still have about 15 minutes left here. Google News. No. I'm confused. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Okay. Let's try this again. Yeah, voter turnout in Ontario, lowest in history. Well, the party leaders did that to themselves. Conservatives say they're about to set a new membership record. Broke Amber Heard can't pay Johnny Depp after losing trial. No shit. What do you expect? Let's see. NASA to buy 5 more astronaut missions from SpaceX. That's where Elon's money's coming from. Ooh, let's read about this. And apparently the James Webb Telescope is going to be releasing its first image. NASA's going to be releasing the first images from the James Webb Telescope on, I believe, July the 12th, is what they said. So it's going to be a couple of color photos, and I can't remember what other, but I saw that they would be releasing those photos July the 12th. And that would also signify the official start of the mission. Okay. So Need to be out. See, catch you later. All right, T-Blaze. This is from physics.org or phys.org. Okay, here we go. Let's go share the screen. Here we go. Yes, share screen. Chrome. And here we go. So this is a cool thing. Let's take a quick look here. Where are we here? So this says, hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the headline. Here we go. Unknown structure in galaxy revealed by high contrast imaging. Very cool. As a so this is the artist impression. As a result of achieving high imaging dynamic range, a team of astronomers in Japan has discovered it for the first time a faint radio emission covering a giant galaxy with an energetic black hole at its center. Oh, cool. So they've the radio emission is released from gas created directly by the sun by the central black hole. Wow, so that black hole is so big that it's radiation and like the radiated or radiation charged gas is creating a radio emission that is blocking out this I think it's July 20th, Duck Dog. I can't remember. I know the moon landing was in July, but I can't remember if it was the 12th or the 20th. So yeah, this black hole is so energetic that it is creating radiation that is so strong that it is emitting radio waves. That's cool. When you see a car's headlight, the dazzling brightness makes it challenging to see the darkness around it. The same thing happens to telescopes when you observe bright objects. The dynamic range is when you observe the most brilliant and the darkest tones in an image. They used high dynamic range to reveal both the bright and dark parts of the telescope in a single shot. ALMA can regularly obtain imaging. Oh, this is from the ALMA Observatory. ALMA can regularly obtain imaging from dynamic ranges up to 100, with commercially available telescopes. So commercially available digital cameras would usually have a range within the thousands. Okay. Now, as a blind person, I do not understand any of that. Radio telescopes aren't very good at seeing objects with significant contrast. Quasar 3C273 observed by the Hubble Space Telescope. This is really interesting, but very hard to understand. The team discovered the faint radio emission extending for tens of thousands of light years over the host galaxy of 3C273. Radio emission around quasars typically suggests radio emission around quasar typically suggests a synchrotron emission. What the fuck does that mean? Which comes from highly energetic events like bursts of star formation or ultra fast jets emanating from the central nucleus. Synchrotronic jet exists in 3C273 as well as seen in the lower right of the images. An ascension characteristic of synchrotron emissions is its brightness change with frequency. But the faint radio emission discovered by the team had constant brightness, irrespective of the radio frequency. After considering alternative mechanisms, the team found that this faint and extended radio emission came from the quasar? Why did it just kick me all the way over there? That's not nice. So this event has to be stupidly energetic for us to see that its constancy. So why is this discovery so important? It has been a big mystery in galactic astronomy whether the energy from a quasar nuclear can be strong enough to it has been a big mystery in galactic astronomy whether the energy from a quasar nucleus can be strong enough to deprive the galaxy's ability to form stars. The faint radio emission may help to solve it. Hydrogen gas is an essential ingredient in creating stars. But if such an intense light shines on it that the gas is disassembled, ionized, no stars can be born. To study whether this process is happening around quasars, astronomers have used what is it? This is hard to read. There's so much information. Astronomers have used optical light emitted by ionized gas. The problem working with optical light is that cosmic dust absorbs it. Absorbs the light along the way to the telescope, so that it's difficult to tell how much light the gas gives off. Moreover, the mechanism responsible for giving off optical light is complex, forcing astronomers to make a lot of assumptions. The radio waves discovered in this study come from the same gas due to simple processes and are not absorbed by dust. So yeah, this is really cool. This is greetings. So yeah, that's what's been discovered, and I really think that if we use radio emissions to learn about stuff, we can discover a lot about space just by using radio emissions. It's very cool, and I always find that stuff very interesting. But unfortunately, guys, I'm going to cut this a bit short because I do have to go manage the children. I will be back on Twitch tonight doing some practicing with Well, mommy, I will help you in a minute. I will be back on Twitch tonight. I will be practicing my Night Wolf for the Santo Showdown, and there will be a Star Trek stream tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I'll see you on Twitch tonight. Bye, guys.